All right, welcome to Creator Hardware, and this video was supposed to be about adding hot swap bays to my UNRAID server. Unfortunately, through no fault of the hot swap bays, I wound up having a series of, problems. Obviously, when you have a home lab, you're going to break stuff. Now, me being more of a hardware guy rather than a software guy, normally for me, it's software. In this case, I had some hardware problems, and we're going to get into that in this video. Now, swapping the bays was no big deal. Put it in there, filmed all that, added an LSI card, hooked 2 old drives to it, as well as the hot swap bays, and none of those drives showed up because I'd removed my original adapter card, and, unfortunately, it didn't detect them. So I was thinking maybe it wasn't switched to IT mode when I bought it, going back and forth. Well, I don't have a graphics card in that server. So in order to do testing on it, go into the BIOS to, check for bifurcation of the lanes and all that, I had to put a graphics card in there. Well, unfortunately, going through all that, I found out my second 16X slot doesn't appear to work with any setting in the BIOS, automatic, nothing. I can't get video out with it with my graphics card. I can't get through that slot with anything. With the LSI card, network card, graphics card, nothing was working with that board. Now, also during this situation, I had an issue where it would no longer boot. It would give me a DRAM light on the debug LEDs, and I stopped filming all this stuff because it was just too tedious. Having hours of footage of me diagnosing stuff sucks. It doesn't make for good video because it just sucks to edit. Okay. Now I could get it to boot with one of my Vengeance LPs removed. 8 gigabytes would have been fine for UNRAID, but so I wound up swapping in a different kit of RAM and got it to boot. Both 16 gigs showed up. Now, I don't know why it didn't want to boot with the original RAM installed. It works now, so we're good on that. Unfortunately, I still cannot get that 16X slot to detect any card. And unfortunately, due to time constraints, my wife needed the server back online because of all her works contracts are on that server. That'll be a solution coming down the road. Because one of the problems with working servers is if they're down, you can't use them. So I kind of had to put everything back together and get it back up and running. So unfortunately, the upgrade is unsuccessful. But it's back running again, which was kind of important. But it just goes to show, when you do home lab stuff, you're going to break stuff. Whether it's hardware, software, stuff's going to break. That's kind of why you have a home lab, to play with this kind of stuff, to break it, to fix it, blow it up, and fix it again. Unfortunately for the upgrade, I either have to find a different LSI card that goes into a 1X slot, and that's going to be somewhat difficult with as many drives as I need to power on a 1X slot. Bandwidth, not really, but getting the card that actually fits there. Or I'm going to have to do a motherboard swap because I tried every combination for that 16X slot, automatic, all the different bifurcation metrics, 8X, 16X, etc. 4x4 is what it's currently set at, and still will not do anything in that slot at all. So that's probably going to wind up being another video in itself, but that is what it is. I had to get the server back up and running, and it is back up and running. So just something you're going to run into every now and then is when you go to do an upgrade, sometimes things doesn't work out. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thanks for watching. This is Creator Hardware.